when a close friend of our family's came down with COVID and ended up in the ICU, that was really scary. And that's when I realized it really is affecting people, including my own life. Thankfully, he recovered.
I was leaving on vacation the week of March 9th to the 13th, something like that, at the time when everything was changing hour to hour. And most of my vacation got cut short because of it, but it still didn't hit me at that time yet. When I got back and we started working from home, I figured we'd be back in the office within 2 weeks. I think everybody kind of thought that.
I think we went on spring break and they were emailing us every day, like updates about the virus and how to like keep ourselves safe. And then we were coming back from spring break and they were just like, yeah, about that. You're not going to be on campus anymore. Good luck with the rest of your semester online.
I think I was, paying attention to the stuff that was coming out on email here and paying attention to the news. And I was watching hoarding beginning to happen at stores. And I thought, all of that together, this is a big deal. Like, this is not going to go away soon.
It hit me because I have friends who are in the Colorado National Guard that got activated for COVID, like doing COVID testing. So that like made me realize it was like a real thing. I had a friend that volunteered to go to New York to help with COVID, like when had a big surge in New York, and she volunteered to go there. So that's when like I realized it was a pretty big thing and not a hoax like some people think.
My daughter's wedding day was June 6th. And she had a large church wedding, large reception, everything planned. And that really had to change. So we moved it from the church to just 25 people on her fiance's grandparents' farm. And even that was a challenge, getting some of that done and switched over.
I do miss going to Target every now and then. Because I've really limited that, or just getting in the car and going somewhere and going sightseeing with my family or something like that, because we have really limited what we're doing. And, it's just kind of like we've got to figure out other stuff to do.
It has been challenging. I'm not going to lie. I think one of the biggest things is not being able to visit my family as often. My family is very important to me, and so not being able to see them and hug them, and that has been a really big challenge.
Our son was scheduled to be at basic training in San Antonio, and we had really looked forward to attending his graduation and having that be a celebration as a family, a little bit of a family vacation to San Antonio at the end of July. And they did a virtual graduation, and so as far as missing out, that was hard.
Every day I like to start off in the morning doing daily devotions in my Bible that just really relaxes my mind and sets a good tone for the rest of the day. And then I also would have to say taking walks and exercising outside just, oh my goodness. It helps so much with stress.
Just trying to stay positive. Me and my dog go hiking at Hitchcock a lot. So just, outdoors, exercise. I think that helps a lot with, being cooped up on Zoom all day. It's nice to go outside and exercise and do stuff like that.
I've been a nurse for 20 years. And, the first few years, nobody ever said you need to take care of yourself. It was just like being a nurse, you just run a marathon. You take everybody's problems as your own, and you don't have any way to deal with that. And so years ago, even before this pandemic started, there was bad stuff that I would see at work, and it's like, I got to figure out how I deal with this. And it was just, figuring out certain things. For me, it's reading. I love to read. So I would take the whole day and I would just sit on my couch and I would read a book. Of course, that was before I had kids and stuff. But it was just something for me that made me feel better. And so I've taken pieces of that now, and I read a little bit every night before after the kids are gone to bed, and I have my own quiet time, and that's something that I look forward to every day.
I'm the type of person who's really into throwing myself little concerts. So if I'm like not in school, I'm listening to music. If I'm in the shower, I'm listening to music. If I'm like feeling down, I'm listening to music. It's just, music is something that can like really change your mood and impact how you're feeling. So I like to throw myself concerts and be like the main character in my own show. And that just makes me feel better and makes me like more optimistic about my day. So
trying to eat right, trying to get a little exercise in. The sleep can be a challenge, but trying to get enough sleep.
I feel like my personality has really helped. I'm more of an introvert, so I love to pray. I love to meditate. I just love spending time with my kids, my husband.
I listen maybe to a new trusted news source in the morning, and maybe touch base with, did anything come up in the evening? But I am really careful not to fill my mind with a lot of information that I have zero control over, but that causes me anxiety and worry and concern. And
to encourage myself, I try to focus on the positives and try to, build myself up, not tear myself down in what I think. And I think it's usually just a choice of whether you want to choose to think about things that are going to bring you down, or choose to think about those things that are going to build you up and focus on the positives and what I'm thankful for.
Just knowing that we will get through this all together. And it's not going to just take one person or two people. It's going to take all of us.
I think you just have to stay positive. I understand it's a pandemic, but it'll end at some point. So as long as you're smart and, do the right things, do your part, it'll end eventually. Nothing's forever. So
That you need to have some sort of viewpoint on how you look at things. Like, instead of saying, oh, I have to spend all day with this, be like, I can get through 4 hours today. And that's kind of how I view some of this stuff, is like, well, I've got to get through clinical today, and I don't know what's going to happen there today, but it's 8 hours, it's 10 hours. I'll be home at the end of the day. And that's what I look forward to. It's just kind of framing it for myself.
it's very easy for me to get overwhelmed with all the tasks I have to complete in the day. So I think I'm just like, I remind myself, like, I'm doing this for a reason. It sucks now, but it won't suck forever. This is a temporary feeling. And yeah, I just think about like where I'm going to be in 5 years when I'm done with school, and how happy I'll be and how accomplished I'll feel. So that kind of keeps me going.
Two things. One is, focus on what I do have control of, right? So those are the things I mentioned earlier. I can try to keep taking care of myself, make sure I'm not getting lazy about putting the mask on and keeping my hands clean and all of that. But the other thing I often say to myself is just do the next thing. When everything feels overwhelming, I can think about, okay, well, what is the next thing I need to do? And I'm only going to focus on that. And if I do that, that can lead to the next thing. So that's how I keep going.
I just try to stay really focused on my goals and my family, of course. Like everything that I do is obviously to grow personally, but also I want to be a good example for my kids and for my community. So that has really been, I guess, just focusing on my goals and telling myself that this is challenging and it's something that I have never experienced before, but it's like a test, and I'm either gonna fail it or pass it with flying colors, and I'm just trying to stay very positive.
Historically, when there have been events, world events, or times of turmoil or uncertainty, I'm kind of a history buff, and I like to reflect on times in history when things have been uncertain. And you know, nothing lasts forever. None of this lasts forever. And so I like to use the phrase that this too shall pass. And I like the phrase, the best is yet to come.
I would say just making sure you carve out time in the day to just help yourself just to relax and not be so stressed out with school. Like making sure get good exercise or have that moment with friends. I feel like you just are more productive overall if you take that break and care for yourself. That's really important.
Try the hardest to look inside and be as peaceful as you can with yourself and be happy with yourself.
Stay positive, you know, exercise. I know Zoom's hard. You know, it can be boring. It's hard to interact with Zoom or on Zoom. So reach out to friends, have fun, go outside, social distance.
I think you need to figure it out for yourself. Like what's going to work for you? Because if I tell you what I'm doing, it probably isn't going to be realistic. No, do what's going to work for you, and what's going to give you peace of mind to get through the end of the day.
Being in nursing school, honestly, there is so much to do. So I like to remember to just take it day by day. Like I like to have a good idea what I need, like what my week will look like. But today, like patience only needs to accomplish this. Like you just have to get through this day and everything will be okay. Tomorrow's problems or whatever you need to accomplish tomorrow is tomorrow's thing. So
Stay safely connected with other people, you know, whether that is appropriate social distancing or connecting over Zoom, maintaining those healthy behaviors as kind of a foundation, and then just trying to find things that bring a little joy to you. You know, it's fall, so maybe carve a pumpkin and set it out on your front step, or take a walk and enjoy the leaves that are changing. But healthy foundation, find a little joy. That would be it.
I would say find whatever motivates you, find your drive, and just focus on your goals. Like really focus on your goals. Whatever your motivation is to go through nursing school, or whatever you think your plan is in this life, just focus on that.
Find a way to serve someone else. Find a way to do something kind, whether it's a note that you write, or, you know, make a meal for somebody who has just had surgery or something like that. And when you get outside of what yourself and what the impact is has been on you, you return to a sense of well-being and purpose.